All right, Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakahakodash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. All right, first off, I want to say Shalom to the ones that push this word out in truth and in sincerity, which are the apostles and elders on down to the brothers. And Shalom to the ones that endured his faith until the very end, until the time of Jacob's troubles, which are again the apostles and elders on down to the brothers and a few sisters. Right, so Shalom. So I wanted to do this, video based on something I've been, researching this week. And, one of the brothers actually did a video, like pretty much showcasing all these different massacres that happened, right? Some of them I went over. This one's actually a massacre that a lot of people know about. It's a well common known, actually, because it was in the year, 1919, right? October 2nd. Right, the Elaine massacre. Right, now I ain't really know too much about it, but hey, this is why we do these videos, right? This is why we constantly do these lessons and these videos, and we do our research, man, because there is no such thing as never learning further, right? You can never stop learning something, even when you're in the truth. As much as our knowledge is increased through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, man, our knowledge will keep increasing, right? Through what? Prayer, us doing these lessons, these videos, right? That's how we learn. So the Elaine massacre, pretty much based on what I was reading almost all this week, and I even got it up right here, it was pretty much a racial conflict. And it was 200, it resulted in over 200 Negroes, or what they say African Americans. And pretty much what happened was you had them being worked, overworked way too much, right? Just like slavery, right? What happened back then when we was in bondage, and we still are till this day. So the same things that's happening before is happening today. So they was being overworked, and low wages, low payment, and pretty much they set up the Negroes, right? They set up like what you would call a boycott today, which is like going on strike or setting up a miniature protest against harsh labor and low pay wages. And what Esau saw in their eyes is an opportunity. You know what, y'all, and that's the spirit that Esau got, man. Y'all Negroes going against us, then that means y'all gotta die, right? From something small like that, they all getting gunned down, right? So if I remember, it was a governor, if I remember his name, Charles something, right? I believe Charles Brough, something like that. He called for 500 soldiers, because they refused to compensate or give any type of higher wage payment. But the thing is, why do you have 500 soldiers being pushed out there for some Negroes? Wouldn't the soldiers cost more than just the low pay wages that y'all already giving them? So I want to get this scripture. This is Psalms 55:21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Right? So the words of his mouth are smoother than butter. That's one thing that's known about this man, is that he will do anything, to butter you up, sugarcoat everything that he says, to make it sound good. But meanwhile, he's working you, right? Meanwhile, he's further oppressing you. That's why, in today's society, everything is convenient. The technology, all it does is breed slavery. He's further destroying you. And that same spirit that Esau had, even during this massacre, just that simple spirit of y'all going against us, you're going to die. That same mindset is going to be the one that comes back when this ultimate prophecy is pushed, right? That rice grain on that right hand or forehead. Because if you don't want to comply, they're going to kill you. They're going to try the spirit, and then they're going to kill you. Right? So I have right here, actually, yeah, I just pulled it up. So he called for 500 soldiers from a nearby camp in Arkansas and reported on October 2nd, and he quoted, "Round up the heavily armed Negroes. The troops were under order to shoot to kill any Negro who refused to surrender immediately." Right? So in that sentence, pretty much he gave an order to, shoot anyone that doesn't surrender. But when shit actually went down, it said they just went on a killing spree. They didn't even offer a chance for them to surrender. They literally went on a killing spree. They killed women, children, men, anybody that's a Negro, they shot and killed. Over 200 of them. But what? Only 5 of their soldiers died. Only 5 of them. In fact, I got another scripture on that. And this is a scripture that we usually use against, Jake. But at the same time, this goes against everybody, right? This goes for every single person on this planet, really. This is Proverbs 4 and 14. It says, "Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men." Right? So, again, we talk about Jake with this scripture, but this also ties into both ends. This ties into Esau as well, because this man, he's evil. Right? That's all he's ever been. But it said, "Go not into the path," right, or in the way of evil men. This man is Jake. First off, man, Jake are the ones who constantly go in the way of evil men, right? They're the main ones who cry unto Egypt for help, right? As the scriptures say. They're the ones who go unto this man for everything, for his benefits, and they try to be friends with Esau. What happened with David's servants when they went unto Moab, right? What did Moab do to David's servants? They shaved them halfway by the beard, cut a garment by the buttocks, and they shamed them. Why? Because Jake was trying to be friends with Moab. And look what happened to them. And that's the same shit that's happening today. Jake cannot let go of that spirit of trying to be friends with this man when he's the main one who just slaughtered and massacred you, right? Shit like this right here, this Elaine massacre, over 200 of them killed, probably even way more. It literally said over 200. So that means it was more. Only 5 soldiers killed. Me and the elder here of Baltimore recently did a video on, they locked up the so-called Negroes in a school and set it on fire. Right. I also did a video on the Sand Creek massacre with the Shoshanes Indians that got shot and killed. And I also did a video on the Bear River massacre. How many massacres has it been? How many wars has this country been in? And how many massacres have they done? But yet, everything's forgive and forget. Until this day, there's still massacres. Right? The main massacre was that torture that happened to us in slavery. That's why the Lord is coming back. Right? Because everything has to be set in order. Right? Everything has to be corrected in this place. It's like a factory reset. The same things that's been going on before, man, is happening today, just like with the police. Even though a lot of you Jakes, y'all do deserve what y'all get, because a lot of y'all just cannot comply. Right? You got to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. But at the same time, in some instances, Jake really don't escalate it. You got these Edomite cops that's just trigger happy, and they just want to shoot every damn thing. Those are the same ones that's reincarnated, probably even from the Elaine massacre, came back just to shoot and kill niggas. Right? That's a spirit of death. That's all this man has ever been, is death. In fact, you had the we read about it with the 12 feathers, right? or the 10 feathers, the Caesars. That was during the Flavian dynasty. And when you had the Flavians, Flavian meant, like blonde. That's why, like, when them Edomites, man, they have the blonde hair. That represents what? Death. These people, man, Esau, they are a nation of death. And that's all they've ever been, and that's all they will ever be. So you jakes that keep on trying to flock to them, asking for their help, and trying to be friends with them, you get what you get. Because you just walked into a circle of death. So by the Lord's will, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rekah HaKadosh, and Shalom.